If I said the sentence, the stigmas behind MSG are based on misinformation, bogus studies, anti-Asian racism, and xenophobia, you would probably think I'm spreading some kind of weird conspiracy theory. But what if I told you it was true? Nope, can't use that music, gosh dang it. Bonjour mes amis, I'm Basil the Chef Cario, Lucario PNG tuber, wannabe chef, and culinary nerd. And today I have something a bit different from my usual style of video, because today we're going to be talking about MSG, also known as Monosodium Glutamate, or as I like to refer to it, makes you good. Bit of a preface before we start though, the articles I used to research for this video will be linked in the description box down below if you want to check them out, and I do recommend doing some research on this yourselves because I may leave a few things out. Now, what exactly is MSG? MSG, or Monosodium Glutamate, to quote the Wikipedia entry, is a sodium salt of glutamatic acid, aka an amino acid, found naturally in a lot of different foods. MSG is used in cooking as a flavor enhancer, with a savory taste that intensifies the umami flavor of food, as naturally occurring glutamate does in foods such as stews and meat soups. And yes, I'll go into a bit of detail on what umami means here in a sec, just be patient, gosh dang it. MSG was created back in 1908 by a Japanese biochemist named Kukunai Ikeda, who sought to isolate and duplicate the umami or savory taste of kombu, an edible seaweed used as a broth or dashi in Japanese cooking. MSG works to balance and blend flavors and helps how we perceive other flavors in dishes that use it, making the overall dish more palatable. Some people claim that MSG leads to obesity due to how palatable it makes foods, and also theories exist that MSG can stimulate the appetite, making you want to eat more, but tests on this have been inconclusive to say the least. I'll link a wellnd.com article regarding this down below with all the other sources for this video. And also, it should be noted that the US Food and Drug Administration has designated MSG as generally recognized as safe. Now, you've heard me use the term umami a few times now, but what the diddly dang heck does that actually mean? Well, to put it simply, umami is another word for savoriness, also yet again pulling info from Wikipedia for this, please don't tell my high school teachers, and it's one of the 5 basic tastes that our taste buds can perceive. Those tastes being sweet, salty, bitter, sour, and umami, or savory. Scientists consider umami to be a distinct taste due to how umami has its own separate receptors. To name just a few foods with strong umami flavor, we have things like fish, dashi, tomatoes, mushrooms, meat bouillon, cheeses like Parmesan Asiago, kimchi, sauces such as A1 steak sauce, soy sauce, and even Worcestershire sauce. That's how you pronounce it, by the way. The term in Japanese can be translated as a pleasant, savory taste. In 1985, the term umami began to be recognized as a scientific term to describe this taste in the taste of MSG after the first Umami International Symposium in Hawaii took place. Glutamates themselves have a vast history in cooking. Fermented fish sauces rich in glutamates were used in ancient Rome. Fermented barley sauces rich in glutamates were used in medieval Byzantine and Arab cuisine, and fermented fish sauces and soy sauces have histories going back to the 3rd century in China. MSG is just a simple seasoning that helps enhance the flavor of savory or umami-rich foods, but sadly, it also has a lot of controversy regarding how safe it is to use, and as I said in the intro of this very video, all of that stigma and controversy is heavily based in misinformation and racism. You see, there was a popular misconception that MSG causes headaches and other ill effects. These effects would become known as Chinese restaurant syndrome. But the idea was eventually debunked as multiple blind studies showed no effects when MSG was used a normal amount, and the tests were inconclusive when MSG was added to broth in excess amounts. So where did these myths begin? The story of MSG's stigmas begins all the way back in 1968 when a letter was published in the New England Journal of Medicine written by one Dr. Robert Homoman Kwok. I probably didn't pronounce that right. In this letter, he described experiencing strange symptoms, numbness, weakness, rapid heartbeat after eating at a Chinese restaurant. The blame quickly settled on MSG as the culprit. The doctor actually narrowed the causes down to 3 things: the soy sauce, the cooking wine, and the MSG, or the monosodium glutamate. This led to years of fake studies and controversies that would lead to the coining of the term Chinese restaurant syndrome, heavy air quotes, but the entire thing just seemed to be soaked in this horrific double standard. See, people were reporting headaches, weakness, and rapid heartbeats after eating Chinese food, blaming the MSG due to these studies. These failed studies included things like researchers feeding lab mice large doses of MSG and even injecting it directly into the lab mice's brains in amounts equaling multiple ounces of MSG in humans. So of course the mice got sick and they decided that MSG causes nerve damage, stunted growth, and even brain lesions. People were claiming MSG from Chinese food specifically was causing these health issues, but at the same time, they would also eat things like KFC, Campbell's soup, tomatoes, cheese, all of which had naturally occurring MSG in them. So why weren't those foods causing the same reaction like the Chinese food? The answer is pretty simple actually. The MSG had nothing to do. Shut up, phone. The answer is simple. The MSG had nothing to do with it, and this just ended up being a theory that wasn't scientifically sound, but was also fueled by xenophobia and racism towards Asian Americans, specifically Chinese Americans. Meanwhile, there were other factors that led to these symptoms. It wasn't the MSG, but the damage had already been done. Chinese American restaurant owners had to alter recipes, remove MSG from any dish that contained it, and hang up signs advertising that no MSG was used in their food in any way. This ended up just being an excuse to act like Chinese Americans were poisoning people with their food, a way to perpetuate racism towards Asian Americans, and a way to cash in on anti-Asian sentiment. But these claims weren't true and were not scientifically sound. And over the last 30 years, scientists have worked hard to debunk these myths as false. And they have. I will include a study from 2025 which proves the safety of MSG with the other sources down below if you want to check it out. The stigmas behind MSG causing these issues have been debunked as nothing more than racism, misinformation, and a theory that never really had any solid proof in the first place. But sadly, even nowadays, some foods still tend to openly advertise that they have no MSG added due to these unfounded claims and myths, even if studies have since debunked these claims as falsehoods. I'm looking at you, Top Ramen, this is why your ramen sucks! Anyway, to this day, companies and restaurants still buy into the MSG stigmas, even though they aren't true at all. And the fact of the matter is, MSG isn't bad for you. It's no worse for you than salt. There's even a common issue of people believing they have an MSG allergy, when in reality, they actually just have a sodium sensitivity that was misdiagnosed. Because although MSG allergies aren't really a thing that can happen, issues can arise when it comes to MSG or sodium sensitivity, sometimes referred to as MSG symptom complex. But these sensitivities are quite rare, and even if you do have an MSG sensitivity, the symptoms are usually mild and usually disappear within an hour. Also, MSG contains far less sodium than other salts, having only 2/3 the amount of salt as regular table salt. Don't get me wrong though, MSG sensitivities are a rare but possible occurrence, but usually studies show that symptoms only tend to arrive when MSG is consumed by itself in larger than usual quantities. 3 grams of MSG without food can cause some symptoms, but most food uses only about half a gram of MSG as seasoning, so the risk of a reaction tends to be somewhat low. An article I found on this from healthline.com will also be located in the description down below if you want to check it out, as well as an article from yorktest.com regarding MSG sensitivities and intolerances. I did get some conflicting information while looking up MSG sensitivities, so I recommend looking into it yourself using the articles linked below. I also recommend checking out the website nomsg.com, ran by the Ajinomoto Group, a company well known for MSG and Asian seasonings, for more information on this topic, as well as their TikTok page for more information regarding MSG's history and the history of its stigmas and myths. Also, random little tidbit I thought I'd add, but did you know that the E number, or European code number, for MSG is E621? Just thought I'd mention that little tidbit because, you know, so to wrap things up, don't believe the myths around MSG. It's no worse for you than salt, and unless you're handling pounds of the stuff, it won't kill you or lead to any ill effects unless, you know, you're sensitive to it, which is rare. So enjoy it. It's an incredible seasoning that I use a lot in cooking, especially when it comes to cooking any kind of meat or Chinese dishes, and it goes great in stir fry. Don't fear the MSG. MSG is your friend. Also, don't be racist, weirdos. Thank you for watching this video on MSG, its history, and the history of its various myths and stigmas, and thank you for listening to me infodump about this topic, because I'm a major advocate for MSG as a seasoning, and want to help end the stigmas and myths surrounding it. But sadly, most people don't seem to realize that these myths are just anti-Asian racism and based on misinformation, and still continue to avoid MSG like the dang plague. But honestly, they're missing out on incredible seasoning. Also, MSG is one of the big reasons why Chinese food tastes so dang good. I want some orange chicken now, dang it. This video is a bit different from what I usually do, a bit of a deviation from my usual gaming and reaction videos, so if you like this kind of thing, I may do more essay-style videos in the future, trying out some different kinds of videos, so let me know what you, yes, you, want to see. And if you like this video, please subscribe for more Pokemon and cooking videos, hit the like, and leave a comment down below. Come say hi and join the Kitchen Brigade. And with that, this is Basil the Chef Cario logging off. Au revoir and a bientôt, ma famille.